Let's bring in DNC spokesperson and longtime Democratic strategist, Brad Woodhouse, for more. Brad, good to see you again.
Hey, Kara, thanks for having me.
All right, well, look, activists have been pretty frustrated, as you know, by Senate Democrats trimming down the package. Were expectations just too far ahead of reality, you think?
Well, look, I don't think so. I think any president has to set the standard for what he wants to accomplish. And you can't start small because, as you see, it might get smaller. I think the key here is that between the infrastructure bill, between what this president and Democrats did with the American Rescue Plan, which is paying dividends, and when we get Build Back Better through, you will have the combination is going to be transformative for the American people.
But it definitely still caused quite a division within the party. Do you think there's going to be blowback? I mean, this was tough.
Yeah, look, it's been tough, Kara. I think there's no doubt that we will come together in the end. And by the way, just one other thing I'll add here is the party is not, one, bitterly divided, and two, the division is really, it's like 90-10 or 95-5. I mean, there are a handful of holdouts in the Senate and a handful of holdouts in the House. The vast majority of members in the House and the Senate, are ready to go and would support the policies probably the way they were proposed, but are willing to compromise to get this done.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens for sure moving forward. It's going to be an interesting couple of years. All right. We got to talk about Virginia. Yes, I live in Virginia, so I'm reading up on this constantly, but it has become the headline here across the country when you're talking about the future of this administration. Democrat Terry McAuliffe and Republican Glenn Youngkin are in a tight race now for governor, with the election now less than 2 weeks away. I can't believe it's so close. We're already talking about an election. 538's polling average shows McAuliffe has about a 2-point lead over Youngkin right now. But then in a new Monmouth poll out yesterday, it's showing them in a dead heat. So now education and particularly the debate over critical race theory, those have become key issues here. How can Democrats pull off a win in Virginia?
This is an extremely close race. The issues you talk about are important, but also one of the biggest issues in Virginia and New Jersey is also having a gubernatorial race and nationally is COVID and the response to COVID and getting past COVID. And I think there you couldn't find a bigger difference. I mean, you're someone in Terry McAuliffe who's embraced President Biden's plan, has embraced vaccine mandates, has embraced mask mandates where they're appropriate, where cases are spiking, and Glenn Youngkin, who is, more in the Trump camp of playing down the importance of the virus, playing down the importance of vaccines, certainly playing down the importance of vaccine mandates. And I think, the fact that the economy is chugging along again, we've had record job creation across the country. It just shows that efforts to restrain the pandemic, get beyond it, and to get people vaccinated are really important to people. And I think Terry McAuliffe's approach there is going to win the day in the final equation.
All right, we got to talk about voting rights. We followed the vote all day yesterday. Senate Republicans blocking that bill for the second time this year. What does this setback do to Democrats' prospects in the midterms, given that voting rights, it was a key motivating issue in 2020?
Well, look, I think it will just make voters on our side more urgent about casting a vote. They see that Republicans will go to any length possible to suppress the vote. We have got to shout from the mountaintops that it's Republicans that are trying to suppress votes. And why are they doing it? Because, the issues that they do run on are not popular. Giving tax cuts to the wealthy, not popular. Opposing efforts to lower prescription drug costs, not popular. Opposing the American Rescue Plan, opposing vaccines and vaccine mandates, not popular. So they try to rig the game by suppressing votes. And we got to make sure that they know that the American public knows that.
So let me get your response to this, because the NAACP did come out with a statement calling the failure to pass the voting rights bill reprehensible, saying, don't forget that black voters landed a victory for the president and this Congress, so don't fail us again. Democrats have now failed to pass legislation on voting rights, police reform, a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. How do you convince people of color to vote for Democratic candidates when they have not delivered on those key promises?
Well, let's be clear. Republicans are blocking progress on all of those key pieces of legislation. Republicans are not just voting against. They could just vote against and say, we're against this, and the Republicans with 50 votes and the vice president could pass these policies. But they're not even allowing these issues to come to a vote. So we've got to put the blame where it lands, and it lands with Republicans. Republicans are preventing these issues from even getting a debate on the floor of the United States Senate. And so it's Republicans that blocked the voting reform yesterday. It's Republicans that have blocked the other issues that you talked about. And look, the filibuster is an issue. It is frustrating to a lot of people that is a rule that prevents a lot of these issues from coming to the floor. But for now, it is a reality. So it's the Republicans that they could say, okay, let's go to debate in the final vote, and they could vote against and let the chips fall where they may. But they won't even let it come up for a debate on the floor of the Senate, and that's reprehensible.
Well, they'll debate you on that. DNC spokesperson Brad Woodhouse. Good to have your side today. Appreciate it.
Kara, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.